Okay. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parma Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Namaste. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm not able to hear you. But, oh, yeah. Okay. Now I can hear you, I think. Hold on a second. Tell me now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Good. I had shut off my, microphone somewhere. Yeah. Okay, we'll start the class in a few minutes. Just now. Okay. Let me share my screen. You can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. One second. Yeah, good. Okay, let's go to the slideshow. Okay. I need to clarify what I'm trying to do here because we're spending so much time on the Shankara Bhashya concepts. We haven't even come to the overview of Shankara Bhashya yet for the 18 chapters. We're only talking about Shankara Bhashya concepts. Let me show you what we have here, what we have done in the last class. In the last class, we talked about the concept of Bhakti in Shankara Bhashya. What exactly Bhakti is? Bhakti is also in the form of Bheda or difference. Ishvara and Jiva are different in this phase of Bhakti. We talked about Adhyaropa Apavada, that means that is in the Shastras, the Gunas, Shakti, power, Jnana, Vidya, Shaurya, and all these characteristics are superimposed on Brahman. Later on, the Shastra denies also all those things to Brahman, saying that Brahman, the Saguna is just an Adhyaropa and Nirguna is the real thing. So take away all those gunas. That is the Jnayam Brahma, which is Nirguna. And what is this Nirguna Brahma? It does not have jati or class. It does not have guna, any kind of attributes. It does not have any action. It doesn't perform any action. It is actionless. It is also not same as existing or sat. It is not same as non-existing, which is not sat. One may ask, okay, does Brahman not exist at all then? That's not what we are talking about. We only know what, suppose I say that there is a cell phone and I say, okay, people say, we know cell phone exists. So if I say, is there a cell phone here? No, there is no cell phone here. Cell phone does not exist here in my palm. So these are all, the existence and non-existence refer to objects which are comprehended through our senses. Brahman cannot be comprehended through our senses, and hence Brahman is not termed as Sat, or he is not termed as Asat also. Sat, Asat Shabda cannot denote Brahman. So this is what Brahman is, and we talked about this in the last class. These are just concepts. We are clarifying the concept because someday you should be able to come back to this set of lectures and try to understand Shankara Bhashya clearly, conceptually. I am finding myself, Shankara Bhashya is not easy. The concepts in Shankara Bhashya are not easy. To get that very clear in our mind, it takes a long time and it also takes a lot of thinking. I'm trying to simplify it. It's just like I'm actually putting all of you through the drudgery and difficulty I am going through because I am trying to understand Shankara Bhashya very clearly. and trying to explain to you. So in this process, you are unfortunately subjected to the information I'm giving through my intellect, which is very, very limited. So now we are going to talk about Jnana as enunciated in the Gita. Just a concept in the Gita by Gangoli, that book, the summary which Sachidanandendra Swami wrote in Kannada, which is translated to English by Gangoli. So that's what we're trying to do. And we're just going to talk about what exactly is Jnana. Let us take a few 1 or 2 minutes to ask before showing this. I'm going to stop showing this. I'm going to say, ask a few people, what do you think Jnana is? Just casually, right? Let me close this up. Just 1 second. I'll be back. But I'm here. I'm talking to you. So can anybody say what is Jnana? What exactly is Jnana? Just casually.
Ignorance.
Absence of ignorance. Okay. Absence of ignorance is one thing. So what you're trying to say is, if I know a tree, then okay, I have the Jnana of the tree, right? Is that what you're saying? Something like that?
Something like that.
Okay. Anybody else?
So Jnana is an attribute of the Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, that way.
Okay, attribute. What does it mean?
So it is one way it is Brahman in one way.
In one way it is Brahman. So you cannot say much as like an attribute there.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody? That's one way of looking at it. Okay. But still, we will figure out. No, I'm not saying this is right or wrong at this point. I want people to think by themselves and see what could Jnana mean. The reason why I'm saying is, we think in a different way. Shankaracharya thinks in a very unique way. And we are trying to understand what Shankaracharya thinks by the term Jnana. So anybody else, what do they think as Jnana?
Knowledge of Brahman.
That's yes. Knowledge of Brahman is one. Yes. So who should get that knowledge of Brahman?
So according to Shankaracharya, there is no Gnatrutva, right? It's only Gnana Swarupa. Brahman is just
Correct.
Gnana Swarupa.
Fine.
So I can't say who should get that Gnana. Now, Brahman itself is Gnana Swarupa.
Correct. Brahman itself is Jnana Sarupa. That is true. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Why don't we check what Shankaracharya says right here? I'm going to share the screen now. Yeah. See, Jnana, let us, so Gangodli basically in the textbook, he goes through a few slides, few shlokas to try to summarize Shankaracharya's view. In Jnana is told in the, so these two verses in the 13th chapter, that is 13.2 and 13.3, say, idam shariram kaunteya kshetramit bhidiyate. Etadyo veti tam prahuhu Kshetragna iti tadvidaha. So this body is known as Kshetra, or the field. The person who knows this body is the Kshetragna. So the thing is, in the next verse, Kshetragna chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetragna or jnanam yat tat jnanam madam mama. Here Shankaracharya says here that in all these different bodies, what you think you know as the knower of the body is actually me. That is, the jiva is same as me, that is Brahman. That is what Lord Krishna is saying here. And that yat tat kshetra, that this is very important, the second line of the 13.3 shloka. Kshetra kshetragna or jnanam yat tat jnanam matam mama. That means what is the nature of Kshetra, the field, and Kshetragna. This discrimination between these is what is Jnana. Oh, this sounds like what exactly is this Jnana then? Just trying to understand what is Kshetra and what is Kshetragna. Is that what it is? Is it like a textual knowledge? Just like, something about these two entities? Not very true. The reason is, Kshetragyan chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. So I am the knower of all the fields. And that is that Brahman. So kshetragnayor jnanam yat tat jnanam matamama means truly knowing what this kshetra and kshetragna is. And that one we will, this needs a lot of explanation. We will slowly figure out what is meant here by this verse. Truly speaking, we are not going, in this class, we are not going to go into the commentaries of Shankara Bhashya right now, because we are doing an overview. And the commentary of Shankara Bhashya on this verse alone, on these two verses alone, may take easily 3-4 classes. We are not going to do it. We have to get to an idea of conceptual understanding. Conceptual understanding is that Brahman or Ishvara is same as this Brahma, the Jnayam Brahma, the one Brahman is same as this Jiva sitting in all these bodies. So I am the knower of all these bodies, and that I is that Parabrahma, that is Atman, and the Jivatma is same as Atman Parabrahma. This is the only truth. That is, the truth is, there is one Atman in this field. And there are many fields maybe, it doesn't matter how many fields. In fields are the shariras, are the bodies. So in all these bodies, there is one Parabrahma that is same as Bhagavan. That's what is being said here. Okay, now let's go a little bit deeper. So we should clearly understand what is an objective knowledge, which is the field. Anything which is the field is just not only our sharira. The things in front of us are also objective knowledge. And that cannot be Brahman. So Brahman is separate from all objects. That we need to know. So knowing this clearly, that something is object and something is subject, is what is true knowledge. The rest is Manasik Vritti. What is Manasik Vritti? We have thoughts. There are thousands of thoughts occurring in our brain. We think about this object, that object, a complex situation, some vacation, whatever we think of. These are all thoughts and Manasik Vritti. They are all in the relative world. They are all in ignorance. They are not true knowledge. Okay. So we got to be very careful in understanding Advaita. So in the Sankhya theory, they separate out that this is all Prakriti. The Prakriti has 24 different, classifications. Like, like the 5 Panchabhutas, Prithvi, Ap, Tejo, Vayu, Akasha, Pancha Indriyas, Pancha Karmendriyas, motor organs, Pancha Indriyas like sight, eyes and nose and skin and things like that. And Prithvi, they're all 15 now, right? Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Jnanendriya, and Pancha Mahabhutas, that is Prithvi, Ap, Tejo, Vayu, Akasha, 15 over and panchat, there are, and also the objects of the senses. Each sense has, touch has got a, anything, an object which can be touched, that is a touch sense. So the objects of these senses, which are 5, so 20 over. Then ahankara, buddhi, manas. These 3 are there. Mano, buddhi, ahankara. 24, we have to come up with 24, right? One second, hold on. So Jiva is the 24, Jiva is not inside the 24. So I'm missing one. What is that? Chitta. Manas, buddhi, ahankara. I don't know why it cannot be chitta. It could be chitta because chitta may be contained in the mind. And I will check the number 24 later. Sometimes we've gone through it many times. I'm forgetting that. Okay, so Jiva is different from all these 24 tattvas. That is a Sankhyan point of view. So Purusha and Prakriti, Jivatmas are many, and there are, Prakriti is one. Prakriti has these 24 classifications. So knowing the difference clearly between these two is what is Sankhya point of view. Vaisheshika point of view is Jivatma is different from Ishvara, and who is also a Jnata. Ishvara is also Jnata. Jivatmas are also Jnatas. That is, they know. And this kind of multiple Jiva and Ishvara system is what Vaisheshika view is. That is not Advaita. Because plural Jivatmas are not allowed in Advaita. Not even the Tatastha Ishvaravada. Tatastha Ishvaravada is the Ishvara is unconnected to the creation. Tatastha means he is sitting on the banks. He is not getting involved. He is not jumping into the pool. He is out there somewhere. And this pool is this universe of all the things we see here. So that kind of a Tatastha Ishvaravada is not agreeable to Advaita. Then what does Advaita say? It is about one non-dual, which is no different, which does not have any second one, Atman only. And the knowledge of that Atman is what is said in the Bhagavad Gita. So Atmaika Jnanam, right? That is one knowledge of that one Brahman, one Atman. Now, what exactly is this? Now we'll go a little bit deeper and start understanding what Shankaracharya meant in the earlier chapters to get a feeling of what Jnana could be, right? So clearly there are 2 things which Shankaracharya mentioned. That which is Sat, which is Brahman. So, see here in the 2nd chapter, Sat refers to Brahman. Na asato vidyate bhavaha. That means that which does not exist will not exist. That is like body. Body is never existing because it's always changing. There is nothing constant in the body. So that is going to be perishing all the time, changing all the time. But that Brahman is one. Brahman is one. And that can never non-exist. That means that always exists. Ubhayoropi drashtvantaha. The true the Tattvajnani will know the difference between these two. That which is changing, perishing, and that which is constant. So this Atman is also Avinashi, it's not perishable. That is Brahman actually. And it is everywhere. And nothing can destroy it. The bodies gets destroyed. Bodies are gone. Bodies change. They are subject to diseases, problems, and finally they give up. They are gone. But this Shariri, that Atman, does not have any destruction. It does not perish. It's imperishable. So that's what he said here. So this point is clear. So Atman cannot involve in any action. In 2.221, they say, Veda Vinashinam Nityam, Yayena Majamavyam, Katam Sapurusha Partha Kam Ghateti Hantikam. Once you know that Atman is actionless, nobody will kill nobody. Nobody will kill anyone. So it is actionless. That's also clear in Shankara Bhashya. Prakritehi kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvashaha. All actions are being done by some aspect of Prakriti. So Atma does not act. So the deluded Ahankara Vimudhatma it's a mental concept. That is, there is some entity sitting inside the mind thinking that I am the doer. Who is that entity? That's also illusory. Because Atman is unconnected with any action. So the person who is thinking that he is the doer, he is the enjoyer, is also non-existent. He is just illusory. Now, who is Krishna here? Krishna says, Jnani to Atmaiva Mematam. The one who is a Jnani is me itself. Jnani is I am that Jnani. So according to Shankaracharya, that Parabrahman is same as the pure, that is Atman. Tato mam tattvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram is also said in the 18th chapter. So once the knowledge comes, tattvato jnana, if the tattva jnana comes, everything enters into Brahman only, because they dissolve in Brahman. There is nothing else other than Brahman. That is exactly what the true knowledge is. So knowledge of the non-dual self is the main purport taught in the Bhagavad Gita. That means, how do you get to that one knowledge? When everything else vanishes away at that time, sublates away, without any residue, that knowledge is taught in the Bhagavad Gita. So, what is the concept of Ajnana or Maya now? Right, according to Shankara Bhashya. We're still trying to get there. In this class, I will, let's see how long it goes and what happens. Tribihi gunamayihi bhavaihi ebis sarvamidam jagat mohidam na abhijanati mamebhyah paramavyayam. This is the 7th chapter, 13th shloka. So there are 3 gunas. Everyone is deluded by these 3 gunas. And being deluded, he doesn't know me, that is Parabrahman Krishna. Mam ebhyah paramavyayam, that is that Atman, who is same as me, that is Lord Krishna is saying. Ebhyah paramavyayam, that means beyond the 3 gunas. It is avyaya, unchanging, one entity. That one entity is unknown to the person who is deluded by these 3 gunas. And 3 gunas is everywhere in every object, every part of the matter. It's all filled with 3 gunas. And because the person is confused, entangled in the Gunamaya universe, that person doesn't know me. That is Parabrahman. Daivihyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Durateya. Here Shankaracharya says, this Maya is the power of the Lord, that is Ishvara's power, that is Vishnu's power. That is what Shankaracharya says. Ishvara means Vishnu. He says in the Bhashya. Mameve prapadyante maya me tam taranti. This is also fine. Now, what is this Maya is about? It looks like it has got Prakriti involved in it. What are the lower and higher Prakritis? There are 8-fold lower Prakritis, which is known as Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu, Kam, Mano, Buddhirevacha. So the thing is Bhumi, that is earth, water, fire, air, space, Manas, Buddhi, Ahankara. These are 8-fold aspects of purely matter, Prakriti. Ashtadha Prakriti, that is 8-fold. That is the lower Prakriti. What is the higher Prakriti? Apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidhime param jiva bhutam mahabhavo baho eyedam sajete jagat. The higher Prakriti is Jiva. Jiva bhutam means Kshetragna lakshanam. Kshetragna means that person who knows the field. Pranadharana nimitta bhutam. Kshetragna also is referred here by Shankaracharya as Pranadharana nimitta bhutam. That which keeps together the prana. Jiva word this Jiva word is used for pranadharana. Prana is what? The 5 airs which are keeping our body working. Prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana. These are keeping our body working. So Jiva is actually about this body which is in action, which is alive. Jiva bhutam jaya kshetragna lakshanam. So the thing is, that is known as Kshetragna, nature of Kshetragna. That is the higher level Prakriti. Yaya Prakritya idam dharyate. This whole universe is spread inside. That is, this Jiva Tattva is inside this entire universe. That's what Shankaracharya says. This is Shankara Bhashya. Dharyate jagate antaha pravishtataya. Because this Jiva Tattva is inside all this, he is saying that they are holding it together. That is, Jiva is holding this whole universe of 24 elements together. Ajopi san avyayat. We are now trying to understand what Maya is. Ajopi san avyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim swam adhishtaya sambhavami Atma Maya. See this okay, this is interesting. This is the 4th chapter where Lord Krishna says, I am unborn, I am unchanging, I am the Lord of this universe, Bhutanam Ishvara. Even though I take my own Prakriti, that is, I take a form, Sambhavami Atma Maya, I come here in a form by my power called Atma Maya. This looks like the direct meaning of it. Shankaracharya's way of looking at it is, this is the Shankara Bhashya. Ajopi sanne. That means I am without birth. Tatha abhyayatma akshina jnanascha. That means I don't change. I don't have, my knowledge does not go through reduction. The knowledge doesn't change. It is just as it is. Akshina jnanascha. Akshina jnana shakti swabhavopi. That is, power and jnana does not reduce. Tatha bhutanam brahmadi sambhaparyantanam. That means there are universe from Brahma to a small worm. I am the Ishvara, or I am the controller. Though I am a controller, Prakritim swam mama Vaishnavim mayam. I take this Vaishnavim, a unique body, which is made of Triguna, but it is a Vaishnavi Maya. But everything is under my control. Yasya vashe sarvam jagat vartate taya mohitam. It is also deluded by my power. Everyone is deluded by my power. Sat swatmanam vasudevam na janate. Because each of us are deluded. We don't see that single Atma in us. Swatmanam vasudevam na janati. We don't know the Vasudeva sitting inside. Tam prakritim swam adhishtaya. So this Maya Prakriti is what Lord Krishna takes. Vashikritya sambhavami dehavaniva bhavami. I come as though I have a body. I don't really have a body. Atma Maya, Atmanaha Maya, na paramarthataha. I don't actually come, but I come here as if I come here, as if I have a body, as if people can interact with me. That is what Shankaracharya says. So the thing is, an avatara is also in the level of relative reality. Because Brahman is actionless. How can he take an avatara? He cannot take any avatara. So the Saguna Brahman is all real from our perspective. There is Bhakti, there are temples. He definitely took avataras. He did this divine leelas in the Krishna avatara. He did spread the secrets of dharma in the Rama avatara. He protected Prahlada and killed Hiranyakashipu in the Narsimha avatara. Like that, in different avatars, he did all these things. Yes, that's all true. It's relatively true in our universe, in this universe what we perceive. But once jnana comes to us, none of this exists. Only self exists at that time. One second. Okay. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. So Atma is Ishvara, who is sitting inside. And everything is rotating around, turning around, acting yantrarudhani mayaya, as if they are powered by robots. As if they are robots, actually. Powered by only one person, that is Brahman. And he is sitting in the hearts of everyone. And everybody is acting because of his power. And that is known as Maya. Here, Maya has different connotations. But finally, what it is? I'll try to explain this concept a little bit here, known as what is this Antakarna. At the end, this Ganguly is driving towards certain things which are very complicated. See, he talks about Vidya and Avidya are both there. They're both in our Antakarna. What is Antakarna? The moment we are operating through a body, we have a gross body, mind, intellect, and ego. This mind, intellect, and ego are the inner Antakarna, the inner organs. So this Antakarna, inside Antakarna, we have this Vidya and Avidya. What is Vidya? Discrimination between Atman and Anatman. Avidya is non-discrimination. It doesn't understand what is Atman and what is not Anatman. What is Anatman? So, but this discrimination and non-discrimination is happening where? They're happening in our Antakarna, which is the inner organ, which is a combination of mind, intellect, and ego. So the processes of Vidya and Avidya occur in our mind, in our inner organ, Antakarna. We discriminate and we fail to discriminate using our inner organs. So the Avidya and Vidya are both inside the realm of illusion, because illusion has caused this universe. And our mind and inner organs are actually, that's where the processes of discrimination and non-discriminations are happening. Why is it said like that? Anybody? Can anyone tell me why is that Vidya and Avidya are both in the zone of illusion? Vidya is through which you attain Brahman. Avidya is ignorance, where you go deeper and deeper into matter. You get stuck in matter. You get confused, frustrated, deluded, hurt. You get attached. When the attachments are gone, you feel terrible. You have so much of sorrow. All this. On the other hand, Vidya means it could be meditation, it could be purification, it could be bhakti, discrimination. So even the discrimination and non-discriminations are all occurring in this illusory existence. Why is that? How can you say that? Can anybody say anything?
So we are all inside the sphere of Maya. So
Okay.
but till the time we don't cross this Maya, both Vidya and Avidya are there. And anyway, there is no position from where we can discriminate or non-discriminate, because we
And
are
this is the
present over here.
So this is the only place we have, and we have to operate from here. And all activities, whether Vidya, meditation or something, or Avidya, which is non-discrimination between self and non-self, everything have to occur here. Yes, you're right. There is no other way. Does this make sense to everyone? Do you all understand?
Even ego is also.
No, you're cutting in and out. No, you're cutting in and out. Can you speak through the speaker properly, near the speaker?
Are you able to hear, sir, now my voice?
Now better. Yeah, now it is
So
better.
ego is also, can we take one factor, sir, which is the reason for Vidya and Avidya? Ego.
Ego is a factor for what?
For this, for this Vidya and Avidya, sir. Can we take even that also as a cause of factor, for which we are stuck in this world?
Yes, ego is also one reason. See, the ego, what you are talking about, and the ego, what these people are talking about, is slightly different, maybe. See, we have to go and find out exactly what ego is in the definition of Advaita, because the English ego, as you know, Ahankara, or this guy thinks that he is too much. This guy thinks that he is the he's a gift for this universe. He thinks that he exaggerates his capabilities. That is a different ego. Here, ego may be just identification with body is ego. That's also possible. So we need to find out from the Advaita text exactly what ego is. We will define it later. I'm just taking one step at a time here. So the whole activities of getting good knowledge and getting bad knowledge all occur in this universal, illusory world. Why is that? I want you to think in a slightly different way. All processes which involve, okay, I'm unhappy with this universe. This universe is not giving me happiness. I want to get out. Even this good knowledge of getting out of this universe, even this good knowledge of seeking Brahman, even this good knowledge of doing some sadhana to achieve Brahma Jnana, all these things are still in ignorance only. Do you realize what we are trying to understand here? All activities are in ignorance only. If that is the case, avatars are in ignorance. Krishna's teaching is also in ignorance. Bhagavad Gita teaching is also in ignorance. In this world of illusion, in this universe of illusion. What does it mean? What is Shankaracharya trying to say here? Anybody? I would like you to participate. Think. Tell me, what is in the mind of Shankaracharya when he says that Vidya and Avidya are all both in the sphere of illusion or ignorance? Anyone?
Is he saying if you're seeking, that means that you're still part of the whole illusion, and when you get where you need to get, like, you're not going to seek anymore?
Correct. That's true. Then what does it tell about the goal or the place where it all ends up?
Actually, it is said that sorry. Actually, it is said that Shankaracharya kept some ego to do bhakti to the Devi, the Saraswati. Or if he doesn't keep ego, he doesn't exist at all in this world. So that may mean that till the time we are there, Maya is still there. When we do not exist, the concept of I does not exist, then this Maya is over.
Then what does it tell you about that final state?
It's indistinguishable. There is you can't have anything other than a single process. You can't even say the thought. So there can't be another word. You can't explain it.
Okay. Anyone else?
Sir, what I say is correct, sir. From relative reality point of view, Shankaracharya is saying that everything is unreal.
Yes.
So he's asking us to see from the absolute point of view.
Yeah, all of what we are saying is, first of all, that absolute point of view, that is Nirguna, that cannot be described here, that cannot be objectified here, that cannot be in any kind of sadhana, in this world of sadhana, that cannot be described. That is why it is sarva guna, sarva atita, sarva vastu atita. It is beyond all our actions. It cannot be in. So that is why the Vedas, the knowledge, the yajnas, the yagas, the karmas, and even the whatever you try to do to get real knowledge, Atma Jnana, even seeking of Atma Jnana, even your meditation, all these things have to be in the relative universe only. And that is why, because the true Brahman is actionless. There can be no meditation. There can be no seeking. There can be no finding. There is no, everything is paripurna. It's complete and there is no action. It is Jnana Swarupa only. So to define that higher goal, highest goal, Shankaracharya clearly says that what you're doing in the Bhagavad Gita, learning, teaching, or doing efforts to get perfection, efforts to get perfect knowledge, or your efforts, all these are in this relative world. So the absolute world is something so difficult to understand from this point of view. And that's what he is indicating. And we'll go much deeper into this. We'll come back to this concept of Antakarna and, Maya, Avidya. Maya, Avidya, Antakarna, and Mula Vidya. These have to be understood properly in Shankara Bhashya. And otherwise, you will be whenever Shankara Bhashya talks about these terms, you will get confused. Because you have to think like Shankaracharya, not like other people who think Avidya, right? For other people, there are Jivatmas, there are other Acharyas, there are Jivatmas, there is seeking. Jnana is an individual's jnana to get to something. Just like how I say, I study knowledge to become a doctor or engineer or something like that. So the jnana of other Acharyas is jnana from the individual perspective also. Shankaracharya does not believe that. Shankaracharya, that is why goes back to 13th chapter, 12th, second shloka and third shloka, saying that Jnana is only about this field of knowledge, and the Kshetragna are the knower, and in every field, the knower is only one, that is Paramatma, Vishnu. And that is the true Jnana. What is the true Jnana? Is actually becoming Brahman is the true Jnana. Not the process. The process are all in Ajnana. Whatever you do, good or bad, they're all in Ajnana. Once you become that, that is Jnana. So why are we coming back here? Jnana Nishta, we are understanding what is Jnana Nishta in the Shankara Bhashya. So we haven't finished it yet, because I just wanted to give you an introductory information today, because this is one of the most complex concepts in the Bhagavad Gita, according to Shankaracharya. What is it? Brahman is beyond all processes of knowing. Because knowing means there is an object to be known. There is a instrument to be known, or there should be some senses, or mind, or intellect, or something to let us know something. As long as you are in this triputi, or the triangular box, you are inside a triangular enclosure. What is the triangular enclosure? One side it is knower, other side there is known, and the other thing is some means to know the known. As long as this exists, three exist, we are not in the Brahman at all. We are doing something else. To get to Brahman, who is only Jnata, we cannot be in this any process which involves the knower, known, and the means of knowing. If we are in that, we are not even touching Brahman. You have to get out of that. This is the idea Shankaracharya is saying. So this concept, let me ask you a question. I am also just an ordinary human being with so much of errors and problems and thinking problems and stuff like that. I like to understand Shankara Bhashya in this way. That is, understand concepts very clearly. His concept of Maya, concept of Avidya, concept of bondage, concept of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. All these things have to be understood very well before you say this is the overview of Bhagavad Gita according to Shankaracharya. And I like this Gangoli method and Sachidanandendra Saraswati method. They basically go in that particular way. But if you look at other teachers in Advaita, they have their own way. And you know many teachers more than what I know. I want to ask an honest question to you. Am I confusing you people? Am I taking you down a path which is so confusing, and maybe I'm confused and I'm taking you to those areas? Please be honest and let me know.
I absolutely love this, Krishnaji, because I like to think about it from my multiple perspective, and my mind is so limited. And when I see you thinking and trying to answer, I'm having more questions. So more questions means more answers can be found.
Correct.
So that's I look for materials even in Jain texts, and one of my friends who was talking about Jnana from a Jain perspective, he was saying like there are 4 or 5 different kinds, but the first 3 impressed me, which is they have a concept called Kevala Jnana, which is the complete knowledge. And then the second is the Shruti Jnana, which is the knowledge from the text. And then the Mati Jnana, which is like based on our sensory input. So which is a very simple way of understanding Jnana, and which also helped me. And I don't know about the other 2. And so, but these are the 3 that kept in my mind. So I use information from all sources to try and hopefully get an answer someday. So I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's how I function. I want to be very, very comfortable when I say I know this. I should almost experience it. Almost I should be experienced. That's when I say I know it. Otherwise, I won't have the confidence that I know it. In fact, my Guruji has long time back told, right? That is in the verse Evam Satata Yuktaye Bhaktastvam Paryupaste Echapyaksharam Avyaktam Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamaha. When this particular verse was mentioned, he asked me the meaning of it. I said it's just a very simple. It's just a who is better yogi? Who knows yoga better? The person who prays and worships and do upasana on the Vishwarupa form of yours, or the unmanifest form of yours. That's all. I told him. He was confused, surprised. He said, "Oh my God, you know everything. But can you tell me what this Akshara is? Akshara is imperishable. So what is that?" Unless we feel it, we realize it, we don't know it. This is why You can keep on reading, you can keep reading Bhagavad Gita forever. Unless you realize, you don't know it. So reading Shankara Bhashya is not going to confuse us. Reading any Bhashya is not going to confuse us. It's going to clarify what you know better and better and better.
I have been going through many of the classes of from many Advaita scholars, but after reading through some of the books from Adhyatma Prakash Karyalaya and then listening to these lectures from you on Shankara Bhashya, this has become very clear. Or else it was very confusing for me a few years back. From different points of view, Advaita was very confusing. Now it seems better, clear now.
Clear, yeah. See, the thing is, for Shankaracharya, everything is ajnana unless you get to the point of realization. That point of realization is from where everything came, which is the basis of everything, which is the substance of everything. So once you get there, you don't have to look back because there's nothing other than that. There's nothing. That's his whole process of thinking.
And this method of going through the original source is really good. Directly going through the source.
See, here in this concept series, what I'm doing is only mainly trying to understand the essence and concepts, pinpointing the concept. But if you really read Shankara Bhashya, say for 13 chapters, second sloka or something, it will take you forever because there will be so much of arguments against some Vrittikara, arguments against some Vaisheshika theory or some other Sankhya theory, something else. And by the time you get to understand what is the point of Shankara Bhashya here, it is going to take a long time. That is why I like summary orientation first, and then we can go deep into the Bhashya. Once you get the concept of the Bhashya, you can understand the Bhashya better. That is my feeling.
Yeah, so I like this method because I am still struggling with Shankara Bhashya. And knowing the concept helps because I realize that I have to think like Shankaracharya to understand the Bhashya. And these overview classes is helping me because I'm just trying to box them, the three acharyas into three different boxes.
Yeah.
Keep the concepts separate and understand them the way they are trying to portray Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
So I really find this very useful.
Yeah. The thing is, I think, we are in sync, at least. We are a small group, maybe. We are in sync. That's very good. Why don't we do one thing? We'll drill, see, this good that we are all in the same method of learning. That means we enjoy, our questions seems to be similar. We want to be very satisfied with all the stuff we are learning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go deeper into concept of Antakarana, Maya, and other things. Here, I want to spend a little bit more time because Sachidananda Swami does not agree with the rest of the other acharyas regarding the Mula Vidya, the concept of original, the ignorance, that is a primordial ignorance, right? That Mula Vidya theory is a little bit complicated. So give me some time. Let me clarify, understand it very clearly next week. And I'll give you the views of the other acharyas and the views of Sachidananda Swami. So in Advaita, we have two or three, different kinds of scholars. So let us try to understand what they're trying to talk about in the next class. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Paramagurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarvagurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrasimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Namaskaras.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.
Thank you.